Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad.
Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet. Wait a minute, I tell you. You ain't heard nothing.
So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore!
I'm mad as hell! I'm not gonna take it anymore!
I'm not going to take it anymore!
I'm not
going to take it anymore!
Welcome to a live edition of the David Pollack Show. Yep, we are doing it live again. It's been a while. We were pre-recorded for a long time because we were sending audio to a radio station. It was a whole process. So I couldn't be live because I had to pre-record and send it to them so they can... Anyway, but I'm here now live. And what a time to be live, because let's see what's going on in the world. It's Passover. Now, I should probably to recognize the fact that it's Passover. And even though it's Passover, we have college campuses supposed to be the bedrock of tolerance, right? But it's not anymore, because Jewish students are being prevented from going into classrooms. They're chanting things, anti-Semitic things, hateful things, making threats. A girl was apparently poked in the eye. We'll talk about that in a minute. Meanwhile, you have professors being locked out of Columbia University with their credentials being turned off. We'll talk about that too. And we also have Trump on trial today, opening arguments. We'll talk about that. Israel attacked Iran. We're going to talk about that. I mean, there is so much going on today. Oh, and let's not forget that the GOP-led Congress just basically gave another blank check to Ukraine for God knows what. So all of this is going on this Monday night that we're live, and so we have a lot to talk about tonight. I got lots of clips for you queued up, but I'm going to be playing them myself. Usually I rely on somebody. I'm doing that myself tonight too, so any hiccups or funny things happens, I'll only have myself to blame. But it should be a lot of fun. But first, before anything else, I have a very special co-host, sidekick, friend. I don't know what you want to call him. But I want to welcome to the show my good friend and co-host of DC After Dark, the man, Puppet Carlson. Welcome to the David Pollack Show, Puppet.
Hey, thanks, David. I'm excited to be here, although I really think that you're the sidekick, and I'm the man. I'm the puppet. I'm the guy.
Well,
they're all here to see, Dave.
Well, look, I figure if anybody in the chat says, look at this dummy, I'll just be like, oh, they're just talking about you. So I figured it'd be good to have you here. I can blame you if anything goes wrong. If anybody's unhappy, I'll blame. I just need somebody to be responsible when things go off the rails, and I'll just be like, oh, it's Puppet's fault. So I appreciate you being here for that, Puppet.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'm good with creating chaos.
And we got I'm trying to monitor. We got chats all over the place open today. We have I got the pill.net chat open. It's quiet over there right now. The X, we got a couple people over there. Kimberly and Tim are over there. I want to say hello to them. And I'll try to check out
guys over on X. Kimberly, Tim, hello.
And I'll try to check out the Rumble chat here if I can figure out how to get this thing operational. So we got a lot to do tonight. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be trying to pull up videos for everybody on my tiny little monitor that I have it on my camera. We're going to get this to work, Puppet. We're going to do this week in, week out, and it's going to get better every week.
We can do it. We're good at this.
I believe in us, you know?
I do too.
So let's talk about some serious stuff here because I'm sure you heard in the first few minutes. Well, it's Passover, by the way.
Yes.
And so what did we get for Passover? We have, I'm sure you've seen this. This has been all over Twitter today. Now, where people should be talking about this Trump trial, by the way, this historic Trump trial that I can go on for an hour about, and I probably will, but I'm limited to an hour tonight. We should be talking about that, right? But we're not talking about that.
We should be talking about the fact that it's actually happening.
Yeah.
And how crazy that is.
That doesn't surprise me. I told you they're going to get a conviction. And we're going to talk about that later. I don't want to jump the gun.
And then take away a Secret Service.
Well, yeah. Well, so we'll talk about it. Here's the thing. I don't want to get in the way of Puppet. So, You know what? I'm just going to pull the video up. Here, I'm going to try to do it. Puppet, talk to our audience while I pull up this video for the first time here.
Okay. So it is Passover. You know, David is Jewish, and this is a unique opportunity or a unique thing that he happens to be hosting a show on Passover.
Well, this is how committed I am to this audience, Puppet.
What?
This is how committed I am to the audience on Passover.
Well, okay.
I'm here delivering a live show. All right, look. But it's insane.
Passed over, so that would make Passover and you're pretty used to Passover since typically it happens to you.
Right, it's passing over. So
passed over for jobs, opportunity.
Passed over for sidekicks, apparently. This is what I got left.
That's right.
All right, look, check this out. This is what started all of the, I guess, hoopla this weekend. Here, check it out.
You're literally touching us.
Get my way. I'm allowed to walk. This is That's right. I'm going to do it. He has freedom of doing this. I'm just trying to walk around. Let me walk around. Well, then you can walk through us. We're here. Don't get in my way.
He's allowed
So that's the video that everybody saw this weekend where at Yale, Jewish students were kept from going into some hall there, I guess. One girl was poked in the eye with a Palestinian flag. And this is what everybody was talking about. Like, how does this happen? Now, remember, there was these protests at Columbia, and we'll talk about that in a second here. There was protests at Yale. And the ones in Columbia got so bad, they were putting up tent cities. There were not even, and CNN was so clever. They were talking about some students, and other people. So these are outside agitators that are coming to these college campuses and using it for an ideological battleground to attack Jewish people. Right?
They have to be, right? Because these can't just be college students on this campus doing.
Well, no, they're not college students. But here's the thing.
Well, then why are they even allowed on campus?
Well, right, but
isn't there campus security or something?
It's a free speech place. Now, listen to what this is what
it's a free speech for students.
Well, no, here's what I guess this is the president of Yale. I'm aware of the reports of the egregious behavior, such as intimidation and harassment, pushing those in crowds, removal of the plaza flag, and other harmful acts. Her name is like Solevi. Yale does not tolerate actions, including remarks that threaten, harass, or intimidate members of the university's Jewish, Muslim, and other communities. So that was, I guess, she's aware of the reports. She's saying that disciplinary action is going to happen. But this isn't anything new. A lot of these administrators were in front of Congress not too long ago because they were asking about this. This is something new. This has been growing since Free Palestine started, right? And then we have to go backwards, Puppet. You have to go back to why October 7th happened to begin with, right? Why were these well-funded terrorists flown in to Israel on paragliders? And why did they choose that day? Who were they backed by? Now you see Iran's involvement with all this stuff. You have to think that all this stuff in the United States with the Free Palestine was already set into motion. They were ready to go because it wasn't but days after the attack that all of a sudden there was all these anti-Israel protests ready to go in the United States. It was all orchestrated, in my opinion. But remember,
definitely seems fishy.
It was fishy. And it wasn't long ago that they had Congress asked, a few different presidents and other administrators from the universities around the country, from some of the elite Ivy League universities. And they were asking them questions about the anti-Semitic rhetoric. And they were basically seeing what their lines were for allowing the speech. One of the, I think this was University of Penn. There were students calling for the genocide of Jews, and they were asking whether it violates Penn's rules when it comes to bullying and harassment. The president of that university said, if speech becomes conduct, then it can be harassment. So basically, you can call for the genocide of Jews at a college campus, but unless you're actually genociding, then it's okay. So as long as you're not engaging in the genociding, you can say whatever you want, right? Could you imagine if even a Trump rally was chanting "lock her up" to Hillary Clinton, right? Not even advocating for genocide, just Trump supporters doing Trump things. They would have the police there. They would be dragged off. They would probably put in prison and called insurrectionists. Here, you have people calling for the genocide of Jews, and they're saying, well, they're not actually doing the genocide. They're just calling for it. This is where, and this is MIT. They asked the same question. Would that violate MIT's code of conduct? Now, the president of the university said, well, that would be investigated as harassment if pervasive and severe. It would be, if you were calling for the genocide of Jews, it would be investigated if it was pervasive and severe. Calling for the genocide of an entire race of people? What's the level does it have to get to, Puppet, before it's pervasive and severe? If they had KKK on the campus calling for the lynching of non-white people, would they go, yeah, that's cool. Just go ahead and exercise your free speech. We're proud of that. Do you think that would happen that way?
I don't think so. But surely, as you said, at a Trump rally, if there was a Trump rally and I lost you.
What's wrong, Puppet? You okay?
Yeah, it felt like I lost your mic there for a second. Like you went cut
here.
out.
I'm here. You just missed me. I understand that happened.
No, I'm serious. Like your mic cut out. Like it didn't hear you.
Well, can you hear me now?
I hear you fine now.
You can hear me? Can you hear me now?
I find you. Yeah, okay. But there's a lot of like shuffling on the mic and everything. I don't know what that is.
My beard is hitting it. It's too close to my face.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Darn, okay.
yeah. They said Tim's gonna be right back. He said don't get too spicy while he's gone over on X.
I won't, Tim. I'm waiting for you, bud.
Here's the deal. You're supposed to eat the mic in radio. You're supposed to eat the mic, and that's why everyone sounds really deep because they're eating the mic. And so my beard keeps hitting it. Maybe
that's probably what it is.
I'm too manly for my mic. Too manly
for
my mic.
Am I eating it? How about now?
Well, Puppet, you don't have a mic in front of you. You're not eating anything besides me.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I have a lapel mic.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Anyway, but look,
it's covered by my chin, my enormous, gorgeous chin.
You do have a pretty enormous chin.
That's right.
So listen, and here I want you to see
chin up, Dave.
Other than the genocide of Jewish people that they were calling for in these universities, let me show you what else these peaceful protesters were doing on this campus. This was, I think, was it last night or night before? Anyway, I don't know which night it was, but here, check this out. This is going to make you happy.
Viva, viva Palestina!
I don't know what the Indian yells were. I didn't. Anyway, that was the American flag coming down.
Yeah, that sounds great. That's
the American flag in the United States of America. They're chanting Palestine, supporting terrorists, and pulling down the U.S. flag.
Okay, I'm going to be a little ignorant and potentially racially insensitive here.
Well, don't be racially insensitive because now remember, these people don't represent.
Well, it's not. I mean, listen, just let me speak. Don't condemn me before I said anything.
Well, I'm just preventing you. We have 80
Well, I don't
people
care.
watching live here on
I'm going to
Twitter.
say
We
what
don't
I'm
wanna
going to say,
upset
and you
them.
can call it what you will. I'm not. I have no malice here. I'm just.
Good.
I'm just. Ignorant in certain. I'm a puppet. I got a My Pillow for brain.
I could have told you that.
Like, before all this stuff, if you had asked me,
Right.
I would have said that the American population was very pro-Jewish community. And on the liberal side, even more so.
Right.
If there could be.
Right.
I would not have said that there was a large anti-Semitic, a large anti-Semitic population in America, and that there was such a huge pro-Palestine population in America that were this aggressive and egregious. Then and this may be what you were kind of alluding to earlier. This happens, and then all of a sudden, this enormous population of anti-Jew, anti-Israel come out, and pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine comes out, and you're like, what? Where did all this come from? Anti-American. I mean, sure, there's always an anti-American sentiment of people who think, we're imperializing other nations constantly, and which has some merit and things like that. But this is insane. So either this is bought and paid for, Black Lives Matter stuff. This is trumped up, in no pun intended. I don't know, but I wouldn't have thought that this was a natural occurrence here in this country. That this was underlying.
So
Am I wrong? Am I right?
Well, you know the cliche. They say the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
It is no secret. Look, the Republicans say this all the time. The right says this all the time. For some reason, the left seems to have a monopoly on calling people racist. It is no secret that the Democrat Party has been the party of racism since the Democrat Party began. They don't actually like any of the people they purport to represent. What they like is the power of government. I don't have the clip pulled up. Yes, they do. I would pull it up if I could. But there was a video where Chuck Schumer was literally saying, we want people to see how they need government in their lives. This is about possessing people and requiring them to rely on government. That is the primary Democrat platform. That is. You are right. Increased reliance on government. Government. They love government. They love governing you. They want to govern you so hard you'll be making tapes with Donald Trump and then silencing it with hush money. That's how hard they want to government you. And the thing is,
the good news is I'm a puppet and I don't need government.
They'll government you hard too, puppet.
Yeah, I guess they might. They'll try.
So the deal is,
they can stick it up my manhole though.
That's gross. So the thing is, puppet, don't make me distracted. I'm trying to get on a roll, puppet, and you keep distracting me. So here's the thing.
Got to learn how to work with a sidekick.
Dude, the train, it's leaving. I'm holding on to the caboose, trying to keep it in my mind. No, but here's the thing. They need to create groups of people, create the pretend problem that there is all of this threat to these groups of people, and only the government can save them. This is what they do. They just pick a group of people, whether it's Native Americans, whether it's Hispanics, whether it's the black community, whether it's Jews, whether it's whatever, soccer moms. Pick the category. They create a controversy. They invent it, literally, with their friends in the media. Then there is action upon the narrative that they've created. And then as a result, they start to, their problem becomes real. And then they have to institute government to solve that problem. And of course, if you're a Republican or if you're not with them, you are pro whatever problem they created. This has happened time and time again. We can pick, let's just go to 2020 for people who can't think back that far. Black Lives Matter. This is Black Lives Matter 2.0. And by the way, a year ago, I said this on my show. I said they're coming for the Jews next. Jews are the new BLM. That's what it is. But instead of Black Lives Matter, it's Jews' lives don't to the left. Because while they pretend...
But they used to matter so much.
No, they never mattered. And that was to your point of your question.
Yes.
Nobody's lives actually matter to
That
these
is
people.
true. Okay, I'll
Not
give you
black
that.
people,
They
not Jewish
pretended
people,
a lot,
not Native
though.
Americans, not Hispanic people. That they're encouraging Hispanic people and people from all over the world, not just Hispanic people from all over the world, to risk their lives, sending their children across rivers and with smugglers for the promise of coming to America. All the crap that they're feeding them. Why? To disrupt the country. It has nothing to do with them caring about these people having a better life.
No
it has
way.
to do with encouraging them to come to our country illegally to create the crisis so they can invent more government to fix the crisis.
Yeah, and not only that, most of the people that are coming over aren't these people that are looking for a better life. They're imported terrorists. They're imported chaos creators. They're here to stir shit up.
Well,
disrupt.
Some of them, they're infiltrating. Just like this, and I'll talk about infiltration. I'm going to say hi to Vincent Houts. He's over on YouTube listening in. Thank you for saying hello.
I think that's
if we're going to be live, we're going to say hi to our audience, right?
Yes, yeah.
And then, guys, if you have any questions, comments, you want to jump into the conversation, I'm monitoring the chat here. You just pop it over in the comments, and I'll, as long as it's appropriate, I'll bring it up on air for us to talk about. And if you have any questions about our puppet, he's a weird puppet. You might have questions. But this is the thing.
I'm a real puppet.
There's always going to be infiltrators, right? And whether it was Black Lives Matters, remember there was a video where the Black Lives Matter protesters were talking. They said, we just showed up to protest and there was a pallet of bricks just sitting here. Where did this pallet of bricks come from? They were saying that. And this is the thing. You'll always have these infiltrators, whether you want to call them Antifa, whether you want to call it a foreign government operation. Because, guys, we do this in other countries. I'm not telling any secrets that nobody knows. There are intelligence operations, both by the United States and by our adversaries. They disrupt political functions. It's just the way it works. They go and lead protests. They inspire protests. It's just one of the aspects of military tinkering.
They're dropping bricks and bombs over in all places.
And we don't know who's doing it. We don't know who's responsible for it. We just know that whatever. Maybe
agency
Soros,
groups.
Maybe Martians, maybe whoever. I don't know. I don't even want to make an assumption because it's too easy to be like, Soros. Who the hell knows who it is? All I know is that the protesters didn't go and order pallets of bricks and have them delivered strategically. Somebody did, hoping that these people would pick up these bricks and throw them.
Yeah, and then there's a guy in the crowd who's a plant going, we should throw these bricks.
Yeah. Just like there was a guy in the crowd going, we're not going to the Capitol. We're going into the Capitol.
Right.
Hey, we're going into the Capitol. Hey, yeah. This is what I'm talking about. You get people all riled up. Then you have people walking around telling them what to do. And then you know what? Some stupid people opt up on adrenaline and do it.
It's called entrapment.
It's more than entrapment. What it is, it's predictive programming. And so whether it's Black Lives Matter in 2020, whether it's the trans thing, when you remember when you had these trans people shooting up schools, you had trans people there was a video that went viral on TikTok of a trans person saying, if you harass me in the bathroom, it'll be the end of your life. Encouraging people to take up arms against people who misgender them, right? But that didn't go that far after the gay community came out and said, wait a second, don't lump us in with all of this. We've been fighting way too long for our rights, and that's not what we're not fighting for. And they go, okay, fine, let's go after the Jews. And then this whole free Palestine thing starts, and all of a sudden, Jews are now being targeted by who? Liberals on college campuses and infiltrators that are inspiring these moronic liberals to attack Jewish people. And by the way, what that video you saw in Yale, and I have so much to get to, that video you saw in Yale, I'm going to read Title I of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, okay? Sure. This act permits federal prosecution of anyone who, now you're going to have to be a lawyer here for a second, Puppet, okay? You're going to be a lawyer. You're Lawyer Carlson, okay?
Okay.
Okay. This
Do you hate me yet?
No, I haven't paid you anything. Once you take my money and then don't deliver results, I'll hate you like everybody else. All right. Okay. So this law permits federal prosecution of anyone who willfully injures, intimidates, or interferes with, or attempts to injure, intimidate, or interfere with any person because of his race, color, religion, or national origin, or because of the victim's attempt to engage in one of the 6 types of federally protected activities, such as, ready?
Yeah.
Attending school, patronizing a public place, applying for employment, acting as a juror in the state court, or voting. What happened on Saturday night there at Yale, Puppet? You saw the video.
People were at a school and they were being harassed.
Let's be more specific. Jewish people were being forcibly excluded from going where?
Just class, to school.
In what environment?
A college
public
campus.
place.
Yes.
Because they were Jewish. That directly violates the Civil Rights Act. Where's the FBI? They're going to some grandma's house in Wisconsin because she posted that she doesn't like Biden, maybe? Why aren't they going after these people? Why aren't they checking the background of these people? Find out where they're from, who sent them, who's financing them, because they're not all students. So when you have people going into these universities, convincing college students to join them in forcibly removing Jewish people from campus and attacking them, don't you think that's worthy of investigation? We're the Democrats and all their crap that they're always, Trump's an anti-Semite. I've never seen more anti-Semitic behavior than what you're seeing at these liberal universities. Where's the media? Why aren't they calling it out, Puppet?
I don't know, but they ought to be because this is ridiculous. I mean, it's
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It is. I mean, it is ridiculous. This is just crazy. I can't even believe it's honestly going on, and that it's just whatever. This is the quote unquote new normal. They want to create. They want to create a normalization of harassment, fear in the streets, fear to go to public places, to be in public places, and a laissez-faire approach to controlling, remedying, fixing it. It's like, just really nothing much we can do. It's you want these rights, so I guess you're gonna have to deal with the bad side of it. Like, this is kind of the assumption or the feeling they're trying to convey with the lack of action on it, on remedying it.
Well, so check this out. So this is Columbia University. Remember, they've asked the police to remove these tent cities. This is Columbia University. Look at this. Look what happens to this professor.
Okay, I'm walking with Professor Shai Davidai right outside the gates of
this is a
Columbia
Jewish professor
University's campus.
From Columbia.
He's going to try to enter campus. He has his Columbia University ID. He's trying to enter.
1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry, Shai.
Sorry, 1 second. I want to get this on video that they have deactivated. This is the sound. This is the sound of civil rights being denied of a Jewish professor. I want you all to remember this sign.
Did you get any prior
They're not giving him
notice?
access.
I did not get any prior notice
to the school.
I emailed them and they wouldn't respond. I got an email 2 a.m. yesterday calling.
Here, look, check this out. Here's one more.
And what was the
same thing?
I have not just a civil right as a Jewish person to be on campus. I have a right as a professor employed by the university to be on campus. They deactivated my card. These are 5 lawsuits happening, but we don't want to do it. We just want to be Jewish and focused.
So Jewish professors are now being kept off of campus in favor of free Palestine, by the way.
But what is the rationale for keeping the employed Jewish professor off of campus?
They called it they said it was a counter protest, an impermissible counter protest. While, by the way, this continues to go on. Check it out.
Wait, a counter protest.
Yeah. They said he was planning a counter protest by being there because he was Jewish. But here, now this is still going on.
He works there.
Wait, no, look, check it out. This is what's going on here at Yale today.
The trustees run the trustees hard.
Yeah. The Jewish professors not allowed on Columbia's campus. Yale, they're protesting against Israel for Palestine, apparently. This is what we're dealing with on these college campuses. It's absolutely insane. This is where we're at right now in 2024. Liberal universities are becoming breeding grounds for anti-Semitism and attacking Jewish students. And this is just the beginning, by the way.
They've been breeding grounds for hellholes.
They've been breeding grounds for hate and indoctrination, and this is proof of it.
This is when it comes home to roost, right?
Yeah.
They've hatched.
Yeah.
they've hatched all their hateful minions that they've been incubating all this time.
They're creating anti-American radicals that hate the United States, and they just keep picking different causes. They're trying to program an entire generation to hate this country, and they're doing a really good job.
Yeah, they are.
There has to be an answer for this, by the way. And you know what? When you start to investigate these Title I Civil Rights Act violations, maybe you go after these university presidents as well as co-conspirators, because they're allowing this action to happen, defending it even. It's insane. Puppet.
Something just happened with your mic. Like, you went from like volume 6 to volume 10 with like an echo in like a second.
Am I still like that?
Yeah, you're like echoing.
I'm still echoing?
Yeah, you sound weird.
Really? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to show you.
Does he sound weird, X, or is it me? Is it just my headphones or something?
I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Listen, I could talk about this all day. There's one last video I want to show you guys, and then I got to take a quick break.
Okay. I want to see this video.
Did you know that Ilhan Omar's daughter was also arrested in this mess? She hates Jews too, apparently. And
we know that.
Yeah. So check this out. This is her defending her actions.
Do other student groups have this kind of target on their back, or do you feel that you are being targeted because of the fact that it is in solidarity with Palestinians and against what Israel is doing to Palestinians?
Oh, this is 100% targeted. Every single protest that we have, there's a group of counter-protesters that bring all of their items, their flags and things like that, and they're not seen as having unsanctioned protests or really receive the kind of disciplinary warnings that many of our fellow organizers receive just for being seen at these protests. And so there is definitely some hypocrisy here, especially you can kind of see it with the students that were sprayed us with the chemical weapons, and the fact that there's no public information as to what happened to them, but rather the university is actively discussing what is happening to the students here and making it a whole public spectacle, rather than when we haven't done anything to physically harm students, whereas those that sprayed those chemical weapons physically harmed students.
Yeah. The chemical weapons that happened to be fart spray. That someone sprayed that. I mean, that's what it was.
Yeah, well,
there was no chemical weapons. It was someone sprayed fart spray, and it stinks. By the way, fart spray's pretty bad.
You know what else stinks?
Pretty bad.
That
rhetoric.
Jewish, anti-Israel rhetoric. Exactly.
Yeah, that rhetoric stinks.
All right, guys, we're gonna take.
So does Ilhan Omar.
Anyway, we're gonna take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to shift gears for a second here, because we're going to talk about this more. By the way, guys, if you, especially for my ex-viewers over here, we are going to be doing a Twitter X Space at 8 o'clock. We'll talk about this more, and you can jump in on the conversation with us. So we'll talk about this more here tonight, but I'm going to move on after this break, and we're going to talk about the Trump trial, and we got to talk about this ultimate betrayal, part 3, I guess, of the GOP sending our money to Ukraine. So let's listen to our sponsors here, and then the David Pollack Show will be right back with special guest / co-host / sidekick / dummy, Puppet Carlson.
Hey friends, David Pollack here. If you're craving the best soft serve ice cream around, Topper's Creamery's got you covered. Serving the Apopka community for over a decade, Toppers is known for the finest old-fashioned custard-style soft-serve ice cream in a variety of flavors, from their French vanilla bean to exciting specials like German chocolate cake. But the experience doesn't end there. Be sure to grab a fresh baked waffle cone or a sundae topped with my favorite, the fresh baked brownies. They even offer pup cups for your four-legged friends. So hurry in to Topper's Creamery in Apopka, South 512 Hunt Club Road. Make sure to tell them David sent you.
With today's economic environment, it's never been more important to secure your hard-earned wealth for you and your family's future. FinSec Life works to offer industry-leading customer service to help successful individuals and businesses protect their wealth. Whether it's a business succession plan, estate liquidity, or a variety of life and long-term care policies, FinSec Life can help deliver peace of mind, knowing that if something happens, you or your company is taken care of. Visit finseclife.com. That's FINSEC life.com. Securities offered through Valmark Security Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Valmark Advisors Inc., an SEC-registered investment advisor. FinSec Life is a separate entity from Valmark Securities Inc. and Valmark Advisors Inc.
Business owners, are you sick of dealing with those big-name telecommunications companies that leave you frustrated with terrible customer service and then lock you into long-term contracts? That's why I want to introduce you to my friends over at Public Telephone Company. They are an industry-leading VoIP provider offering all-in-one business communication solutions that are completely contract-free with competitive pricing. But perhaps the best part, they're all about supporting their customers with US-based customer service, and they're always willing to go the extra mile. Don't let your phone company drive you mad. Call Public Telephone Company today at 877-314-4080 or visit them at publictelephonecompany.com. That's publictelephonecompany.com.
Hello, Patriots, listen up. It's time to wake up and smell the freedom. Beard Vet Coffee is here to fuel your American spirit. This isn't just coffee. It's a battle cry in a cup, a declaration of love for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Crafted by the hands of those who've walked the walk, talked the talk, and, yeah, grown the damn beard. Vet-founded, vet-focused, and beard-operated. This is coffee with a mission, a purpose, and a testament to the unyielding American spirit. It's a tribute to the tireless resolve that courses through the veins of our great nation. This is the taste of victory, the flavor of freedom, the coffee that stands as firm as our belief in America's destiny to lead and never to kneel. Beard Vet Coffee is more than a brand. It's a legacy steeped in the principles that make America great. It's for those who stand with pride under the stars and stripes, who uphold the values that light the torch of liberty for the world to see. So, are you ready to supercharge your day the American way? Beard Vet Coffee is not just a choice. It's a declaration of independence from mediocre mornings. Bold, brave, unbound. Brewed for the American patriot. Beard Vet Coffee. Make your mornings great again.
Messing with these buttons here. Puppet, I love my Beard Vet coffee. I tell you, you guys, if you want to save yourself 10%, which in Joe Biden's economy is really handy, you can go to beardvet.com, use promo code David, and save yourself some money there. They also have some great products like tumblers and beard oils, and they also have their new line, Beard Vet Tactical, where you can get ammunition and other survival type stuff, stun guns, whatever. So go check out our good sponsor there, beardvet.com. Guys, if you also feel like buying a MyPillow, I got my whole house has MyPillows. Puppet's head's made of a MyPillow, and my dogs are in this studio right now sleeping on MyPillow dog beds, which, by the way, the MyPillow dog beds are the best dog beds ever, and I'm not just saying that. They're completely washable. They're super comfortable. The dogs love them, and you can get them right now at a deep discount if you use promo code Pollack at mypillow.com. So, getting right back into it, Puppet, I wanted to tell you before we went to the break, students at other universities now are planning rallies in solidarity with Columbia. University of North Carolina for Justice in Palestine. They're planning a solidarity rally. Boston University students for Justice in Palestine. They're doing an emergency rally. Oh, students for justice in Palestine at the Ohio State University. They're having an emergency protest supporting Gaza Solidarity Encampment. Oh. And at Harvard University, they're having the Harvard College Palestine Solidarity Committee. They're going to have a walkout in solidarity with steadfast Columbia students. Wow. What in the heck? Wow. Do you know how hard kids work to get into college? Do you know what it's like these days to get into college? It's impossible for kids. They're anxious about it. They have to get straight A+. They're super competitive. Then they have to get, there's no scholarships. They have to try to fight for scholarships. It used to be a privilege to get into these universities. And now they're they're training camps for left-wing radicals. What a disgusting shame for our universities in this country. But anyway, let's move on. So while you were watching Iran get attacked by Israel and everybody saying that World War III is coming, our friendly Republicans in Congress were secretly spending all of your tax money in Ukraine. Of course, nobody actually wants any money to go to Ukraine, but for some reason, Congress really wants to send money to Ukraine. And this was the scene in Congress when they passed the resolution to send, like, I don't know, $100 billion to Ukraine. Check it out. Here's another angle. They are waving Ukrainian flags in the United States Congress. They just voted to give away $100 billion of your money to Ukraine, and they celebrate by waving Ukrainian flags. Puppet, how does that make you feel?
If you guys don't, if people don't see a problem with this, there's a problem. Like, this is insanity, disgusting insanity. That's what I have to say about that. Yeah. Like, Americans, I just can't. Americans should be furious.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, with what's going on here in America, the economy, gas prices, supply chain issues, costs, interest rates, cost of school, as we've been talking about, and you want to give away $100 billion to Ukraine when there's surely the majority of the American population who don't want to give any money to any more foreign countries, especially right now during this scenario that's going on here.
Yeah.
It's gross.
No,
it really is gross. And then you see this pandering, flag waving, ridiculousness.
Yeah.
In our governing body. Like, it
was a blue and yellow middle finger. It was, oh, you guys are suffering because you're paying twice as much for gas and groceries as you were a couple of years ago. Oh, you guys are suffering because you're paying taxes on money that you're trying to keep for your family because the rising cost of pretty much everything. Oh, you're suffering because you're watching the news every night, worried about the migrants or whatever, the criminal aliens coming across the border, threatening your community and the murder of innocent Americans by these folks. Oh, you're worried about war in the Middle East. You're worried about the president of the United States having more time on the beach eating ice cream than actually in Washington, D.C. Oh, you're worried about all that? Here's a big-ass middle finger right in your face, a blue and yellow flag. We don't care about you, American people. We don't care. We love Ukraine. We care about Ukraine more than we care about you. And you know where the Republicans are sitting there fighting to stop Biden from doing the student loan debt relief? Do you know how much money that is that they're fighting on? It's something like $28 billion or something. I forget what it is. It's still a lot of money. But it's in like the tens of billions. So the Republicans are fighting Biden on giving Americans, I don't know, a few tens of billions of dollars of student debt relief, while they send hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. For what? They can't win that war. There is no war to be won, whether they're just going to take our bullets that we need, that we can't produce, and send them over to Ukraine to be shot into the air while the Ukrainians party and laugh at us. It's unbelievable. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene says we've already sent $113 billion to Ukraine before today's vote, so now it's $170 billion. $170 billion that they've sent to Ukraine. Here's Congressman Corey Mills from CD7 on the vote.
Hey everyone, Congressman Corey Mills, Florida 7th District. I'm sure you're all as disgusted as I am with witnessing the flying of the Ukrainian flags on the U.S. congressional chamber. I want to be clear that the only flag that should ever be flown in our Congress, on our floor, in our chamber, should be the American flag. You know, I wish that so many of them who supported the Ukrainian funding for their border and for their country cared as much about America to fly proudly the American flag when we vote on border security like H.R. 2. It is a sad day in Congress. It is a sad day in America when people proudly fly the flag of a foreign nation in our United States chamber. I am disgusted by this. And the fact that the Sergeant at Arms and others did not ensure the decorum, I think, is one of those things that needs to be followed up on. I will continue to fight for the American people. I will continue to fight for the Angel families. I will continue to look at what is best to prioritize America, Americans, and American interest. The firm won today. And we need more constitutionalists and more fighters here in D.C. Stand with us, America. For those of us who are fighting for you.
He's not wrong. We do need more constitutionalists in Washington, D.C., more America First people. But this GOP will do everything in their power to make sure that you don't get any of these guys in Washington, D.C. Race after race. You see how much money the GOP puts into making sure, the establishment, making sure that none of these America First guys move forward. I mean, look what they're doing to Trump. Look at Chris Christie and Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Asa Hutchinson and all these other never-Trumpers who basically put their own middle finger with that blue and yellow flag in the face of America First and MAGA. They don't want to put America first. They want to put their party first and their power first. And they would rather do deals. Mike Johnson would rather do deals with Democrats than give the Republican voters what they sent these people to Washington to do. They don't want to be accountable to the voters, puppet. They're only accountable to their donors and their party, and it makes all of us in America sick. That flag that they were waving, it makes all of us in America sick. And what can we do about it? What do we do about it? We elect Republicans in a red wave that wasn't, and nothing changes?
Well, that's what makes
nothing
it
changes,
sick.
Right? If Hakeem Jeffries was speaker, what's the difference between Mike Johnson and Hakeem Jeffries at this point? We get nothing. No leverage. Nothing about H.R. 2 closing the border with the Ukraine funding, right? We passed H.R. 2 in the House. It would have closed the border, provided security where we need it. They left it on the negotiating table.
Nope, they don't want that.
Right. They just leave it there. They've given that up, that negotiating chip up, vote after vote after vote, whether it was the debt ceiling, whether it was spending term limits, whatever. They just keep giving it away. Continuing resolution, why leverage? Meanwhile, Mike Johnson's like, well, we have to wait till we have more of a majority because our majority is so slim. And remember the motion to vacate? You remember when Marjorie Taylor Greene put forward that motion to vacate? And they were supposed to, kind of sitting there until Mike Johnson says when he's done. Well, now here's Matt Gaetz on why there's not going to be a motion to vacate. Check it out.
Okay, so here's my perspective on the motion to vacate. When I filed the motion to vacate, I thought, war-gamed, strategized about how a 4-seat Republican majority would then re-elect another speaker, because it's not enough to have the votes to remove somebody. You have to actually replace them with somebody else. And I really, really took great care to promise this audience and the entire country that under no circumstance would there be a Democrat Speaker of the House. I knew there might have been a few that maybe a little iffy. Would they vote for maybe a Josh Gottheimer style Democrat or a Trone style Democrat? But indeed, I did not believe that the prisoner's dilemma of a 4-seat majority would allow 5 or 6 to be able to break off together, that wouldn't be available. But here is what I regret to inform you. I do believe in a 1-seat majority, there could be 1 or 2 or 3 of my colleagues who would take a bribe in one form or another in order to deprive the Republicans of a majority at all. And let me tell you what a Democrat speaker looks like. Their leadoff hitter will be declaring Donald Trump an insurrectionist and setting up a barrier to him being able to become the president of the United States if he is lawfully and legally elected, as I expect he will be. That'll be their leadoff hitter. And then the chaser to that shot will be a massive spending package that looks a lot more like the American Rescue Plan. They will blow past every concept of every cap ever imagined. You'll be looking at universal basic income. You could be looking at packing the Supreme Court. And so the risk that one or two of my corrupt Republican colleagues might take a bribe, take a walk, feign an ailment, and flip this thing to the Democrats is a risk that is too high for me at this time. But Anna, I want to hand it to you.
Yeah. So there's not going to be a motion to vacate, and Johnson knows it.
They
So at
can't.
this
You know,
point-
as much as we should, and we oughta, and he needs to go. It would be suicide to do it.
And I think that's what's so frustrating. Do you think if the Democrats had a 1-seat majority, if they had a 1-seat majority, do you think that would stop them from implementing their agenda?
No.
Not even for a second. But Republicans are like, there's too many crappy Republicans that we can't even pass our agenda, so let's do deals with Democrats. When was the last time even the narrowest of Democrat majorities ever did a deal with a Republican? They'd burn it down first. They'd shut down the government and blame Republicans. They would do whatever it took to pass that agenda. Where in the world is that fight on the right? It is no wonder why Republican voters are apathetic. This is what you get. This garbage. And Matt Gaetz is right. Congressman Gaetz is correct. There would be a Republican out there. I mean, how many have retired intentionally here to give us an even more narrow majority? Yeah. They expelled George Santos.
And if you think that these people are retiring, quote unquote, just naturally, then you're crazy. These people are being bought out. They're being incentivized to leave. So because a strategy is being played, a hand is being played, a long-term hand is happening here, and a coup, as you could even say, is happening here, and this is all on purpose. And so maybe, I think they'd just love for us to do a motion to vacate because they know they'd get the House faster, and it would be like, oh, wasn't our fault, oops. It's crazy. And yeah, Republicans are downtrodden because this kind of stuff is so frustrating to people on the right. It's like when you see that even our own party is undermining us, that we can't get, that the will of the people is being denied and defied at every turn, you start to go, man, do we have even a shot here of making change, making America great again, as Trump would say?
We did. In January of 2016, when Donald Trump stood on the steps of the Capitol and said, this is not transferring power from one party to the other. This is transferring power from Washington back to the people. Donald Trump was the guy who said, no longer is this about party. This is about America first. It's about making America great again. And for some reason, that was so offensive to Republicans. It was offensive to Democrats. It was offensive to the entire establishment, to the deep state, to everybody. How dare you give power to the people? We don't trust them. That was our answer. And look what they're doing to him now. And this is a perfect place to segue. Trump this morning opening arguments. Now, let me share what our friends in the media are giddy over this. And by the way, this is not a hush money trial. Get that out of your head. Tell all of your friends when they start repeating the hush money trial, just like they're not migrants, just like Trump wasn't calling for a bloodbath. The media is setting a narrative. They want you to remember the whole point of this trial in New York is to set up this narrative that Donald Trump is a philanderer and he just goes around and rapes women in restrooms and does horrible things and then pays money to people to silence them. Remember, they tried, by the way, They tried to introduce evidence, that Access Hollywood tape where he said grab women by the, and that's what they wanted to present at trial. What in the world relevance does that have to a record keeping? And then, by the way, that's what this is. It's not a hush money case. It's a record keeping case. Accusing him of falsifying business records, which is a misdemeanor. They're saying that Donald Trump intentionally falsified a ledger. And they're saying he did it to hide this payment, this hush money payment to Miss Stormy Daniels. And by the way, she signed a letter saying that she never even had a relationship with Donald Trump in the defamation trial that Trump won. But their theory of the case is that Donald Trump directed his people to intentionally misreport on the ledger so it wouldn't impact the election. They're trying to suggest that the payment to Miss Stormy Daniels, the alleged payment to hush money payment to Stormy Daniels, they're trying to suggest that should have been a campaign finance report. So they tried to get him on an FEC violation. And our federal government said, no. That's not even an allowable expense. It couldn't have been on as a report. So the only reason why Alvin Bragg is able to even bring this crime, because it's beyond the statute of limitations on this, was because there's an underlying felony that he's claiming that exists. And the underlying felony isn't even a crime. But they're calling it a hush money case. This is a character assassination. That's all it is. It's a character assassination case, which is why, and I'm going to put this out for you, but I want you to see how giddy the press was today reporting on this historic day. Here, check it out.
On the air with breaking news and a historic moment as well, with opening statements set to start in former President Donald Trump's New York hush money trial. The president has arrived at the courthouse. This, of course, is the first time a former president and a presumptive Republican nominee for president is standing trial for criminal charges. Mr. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records. Those counts are related to a 2016 payment made to adult film star Stormy Daniels to keep her quiet about an alleged sexual encounter, all of which the former president has denied. Today's opening statements coming a week after the trial started with jury selection. Now those 12 jurors and 6 alternates are set to hear.
Ooh, can I pause it here? Oh, I can. Check this out. Let's look at the unknown jurors, right? Let's check these people out real quick. We have male sales rep, male investment banker, male attorney, male security engineer, female teacher, female software engineer, male civil litigator, male retired wealth manager, female speech therapist, male in commerce. What the heck is a male in commerce? So a drug dealer? Female product development manager. I don't know if maybe she makes feminine hygiene products. And a female physical therapist. That is your pool. Hold on, let's see if I can continue this.
The case against him and his team's defense in a watershed moment for our country's legal landscape. We start now.
Anyway, enough of all that nonsense. So they're rushing the most historic case in history. They're rushing this thing as fast as possible. Jury selection done. Opening arguments done. And check this out. This is what happened in court today, okay? During the opening statements, on the hush money trial, prosecutors said the case is about criminal conspiracy and a cover-up. The defense tried to discount their points. You know who the first witness today was, Puppet? This is great. The first witness today was a guy named David Pecker. And do you know what he was? You're going to love this.
A dick.
He's the ex-publisher of the National Enquirer. You're going to start this case with the alien publisher, right? Remember when you were in store with the kids and you would see aliens found?
Yeah, I love the Enquirer.
Right. This is their first witness.
Inquiring
An ex-publisher of a tabloid that finds aliens. Essentially, that's their first witness. He was a central player in the alleged hush money scheme to suppress negative information about Trump. Not to mention the Hunter Biden laptop that the Twitter was directed under Jack Dorsey was directed to suppress. No. Let's go with the National
And Facebook was notified about.
Right. No. This is the big deal. Monday.
No, this with 36. What was it? 36 counts.
Yeah, falsifying.
Just insanity.
I know. And then so they're also going to be. Listen to this. The judge today ruled that he will allow, if Trump chooses to testify in his own defense at a criminal trial, which is his right. He ruled that they will be allowed to ask Trump about the civil fraud and E. Jean Carroll verdicts and other past cases. They're going to use past civil judgments, not criminal cases. And by the way, for lawyers out there, when the rules of evidence, this is limited, it has limited probative value of past civil judgments. They're using past civil judgments, insane, to try to paint him. They're trying to character assassinate him. This has nothing to do with proving guilt or innocence for falsifying records. They're going to hear tomorrow about whether or not Trump violated the gag order. Puppet, that is all the time we have for today. This is insane. We're going to talk about this more in the Twitter space. Guys, so if you're watching over on X or any other platform, go over to my profile at The Pollack Show, and you'll see the X space we're about to open up, and we're going to continue this conversation there. Puppet, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining. I don't have any outro music or anything, so I'm just basically going to say goodnight. Thank you, guys. We're going to try to do this live again next week. Hopefully, Puppet, you'll come back. I enjoyed having you as a sidekick / co-host / dummy / guest, whatever you want to be. You can be, Puppet. You can be a real boy if you really want to.
I am.
Wow, all right. Well, anyway, thank you guys for joining. We'll see you here same time, same place next week, and we'll see you at the X Space. And by the way, tomorrow we have General Flynn on DC After Dark beginning at 8 p.m. That's General Flynn is coming on tomorrow, and that's actually when the digital release of his movie is out. So we're going to talk about all of this stuff with General Flynn tomorrow. It's going to be so exciting. He was the first person really targeted by all of this lawfare. So it'll be interesting to have the conversation with him. So join us tomorrow, 8 p.m., all over social media platforms, Rumble, at dcpatriot.com, where you can watch this and all of our streams, plus get all of the revolutionary journalism that your heart desires over at dcpatriot.com. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll talk to you right here in just a few minutes. Good night.